All right, brother, listen closely, because what I'm about to say might hurt. But it's the truth you've been running from. You wake up every day, scroll your phone, waste hours doing nothing, and deep down, you know you're lost. You tell yourself you're okay, that life's fine, that you'll figure it out someday. But let me ask you, what are you even doing? Do you even have a goal? Do you have something that sets your soul on fire? Something that drags you out of bed when your body screams to stay down? Most people don't. They wake up, exist, and go back to sleep. That's not living, my friend. That's surviving. The sad truth is, life without direction is emptiness wearing a smile. You can fake happiness for a while, distract yourself with movies, games, scrolling, or parties. But when you're alone, when the noise fades and it's just you staring at the ceiling in the dark, you feel it. That hollow ache inside, that quiet voice whispering, there's supposed to be more. That's your soul begging for purpose. And you ignore it every single day. You see, everyone wants success, but nobody wants to face themselves. The reason you feel lost isn't because life's unfair, it's because you're directionless. You're driving full speed, but don't even know where you're headed. And what happens when you don't know your destination? You crash. You get stuck in cycles of distraction, meaningless habits, fake friendships, and temporary pleasure. You think you're moving forward, but you're just running in circles. A life without goals isn't freedom. It's a prison made of comfort. You wake up and let the world decide who you are, what you should do, what you should want. You live by other people's expectations, not your own vision. And you wonder why you're miserable, because deep down you know you were born for more. You were not created to just get by. You were created to build, to conquer, to leave something behind that screams, I was here. Every person you admire had a direction. A target, something that gave meaning to their struggle. Without that, you're like a ship without a compass. No matter how strong the wind blows, you'll end up lost at sea. Your energy means nothing if it's not directed towards something greater than you. So stop telling yourself you're fine when you're not. Stop pretending drifting through life is okay. Because one day, you'll wake up at 40, 50, 60, and realize you never even started. That's the real nightmare. Not failure, but regret. The regret of knowing you wasted your time on earth doing nothing meaningful. Find your goal. Define it with your blood. Write it down, feel it, breathe it. Make it so clear that it hurts to think about anything else. Because once you know where you're going, life transforms. Suddenly, the noise fades. The distractions lose their power, and you start to move with purpose. That's when life begins. That's when you stop existing and start living. That's the truth, my friend. Without a goal, you're not lost. You're empty. Comfort sounds sweet, doesn't it? That warm bed in the morning, the easy routine, the soft voice in your head that says, it's okay, you'll do it tomorrow. But that voice, my friend, is your enemy. Comfort is not peace. Comfort is slow poison. It kills your dreams quietly while convincing you that everything's fine. You think you're resting, but in reality, you're rotting. Every second, you choose comfort over growth. You're trading your future for temporary ease. And one day, that comfort will be the reason you look in the mirror and see regret staring back at you. People think pain destroys you. It doesn't. Comfort does. Pain builds warriors. Comfort builds nobodies. Every successful person you've ever admired didn't get there because they were comfortable. They got there because they were willing to suffer for what they wanted. They embraced the struggle. They made discomfort their best friend. Meanwhile, most people waste their lives chasing easy money, easy entertainment, easy distractions. And that's exactly why they stay average. Comfort whispers lies. It tells you that you can take a break even though you've done nothing yet. It tells you that you deserve to rest even though you've barely moved an inch toward your goal. It tells you that success will somehow find you while you sit back and wait. But here's the truth. Success doesn't visit the comfortable. It visits the relentless. It visits those who wake up tired, broken, and still show up anyway. Every time you hit snooze instead of getting up, you're choosing weakness. Every time you skip your plan for the day, you're building a habit of failure. You don't lose the war in one big defeat. You lose it in the small moments when you let comfort win. That's how mediocrity creeps in, slowly, silently, until one day you wake up and realize you've become the kind of person you once swore you'd never be: lazy, unmotivated, and filled with what-ifs. Discomfort is the path. It's not punishment, it's purification. The pain you feel while chasing your goals is what cleanses you from the inside. It forges your mind, sharpens your will, and makes you unbreakable. You want confidence, earn it through sweat. You want power, build it through consistency. You want freedom, pay for it in discipline. There's no shortcut, no easy road, no comfort zone that leads to greatness. So stop treating comfort like your friend it's not. It's the silent killer of dreams, the enemy disguised in softness. It doesn't destroy you suddenly. It drains your drive little by little until you stop fighting completely. And once you stop fighting, you start dying. Spiritually, mentally, emotionally. You have to decide what matters more: feeling good for a moment or becoming great for a lifetime. Choose the grind, choose the struggle. Choose to be uncomfortable until comfort bows before your strength. Because the truth is simple. Comfort might feel safe today, but one day it will cost you everything you ever wanted. There's a special kind of pain that eats at a man's soul. The pain of knowing you could have been more but chose not to. It's the pain that doesn't come from failure, but from avoidance. You didn't try, you didn't push. You didn't give it everything you had when life tested you, and now, somewhere inside, you feel it. That quiet voice whispering, you could have been great. That's the pain of wasted potential, and it's heavier than any weight you could ever lift. You see, life will never forgive the man who wastes his gift. Everyone is born with something: a spark, a skill, a vision, a dream. But most people bury it under fear, laziness, and excuses. They talk about what they could do, what they might do, what they plan to do someday, but someday never comes. They convince themselves that circumstances are the problem, that luck wasn't on their side, that the world's unfair. No, the problem is you didn't move, you didn't act. You sat there watching others live the life you wanted. There's nothing more painful than seeing someone else succeed at something you gave up on. Watching someone chase your dream while you scroll through their achievements pretending not to care it burns. But that's what happens when you waste your potential. The universe doesn't reward intentions, it rewards effort. You can think, plan, dream all you want, but if you don't act, you lose. Wasted potential doesn't just hurt you, it haunts you. You can distract yourself for a while with entertainment, people, or fake happiness, but deep down you know. You know there was more inside you. You know you could have been stronger, faster, smarter, richer, more disciplined. You had the talent, the chance, the time, but you wasted it. And now you carry that pain like invisible chains. Most people will never admit it, but they live in quiet regret. They smile on the outside but die a little more inside each day because they know they settled. They know they quit too early. They know they ran from the fight. And the worst part, they convince themselves it's okay. They build excuses to cover their guilt. I didn't really want it. It wasn't meant for me. Lies. Deep down you wanted it more than anything. You just didn't have the guts to go all in. You have to understand something. Potential means nothing without execution. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't use it, it dies inside you. Greatness doesn't come from being gifted. It comes from being obsessed enough to never waste what you've been given. So stop letting your potential rot in comfort. Stop letting your talent go unused because you're scared to fail. You can fail 1,000 times and still rise, but if you never try, you fail forever. Don't let the pain of wasted potential be your story. Use it as fuel. Look in the mirror, face that regret, and decide. No more wasted days, no more lost chances, no more hiding from who you could be, because the only thing worse than failure is knowing you never tried to win. Discipline. That's the difference between the man who dreams and the man who achieves. Everyone talks about wanting success, power, and freedom, but few are willing to pay the price. Discipline is that price. It's not sexy, it's not fun, and it doesn't come easy. It's waking up early when your body begs for sleep. It's doing the work when nobody's watching. It's sacrificing comfort today for greatness tomorrow. Discipline isn't punishment. It's the highest form of self-respect. It means you're strong enough to control your emotions, your habits, and your time instead of letting them control you. People love to say, "I'll do it when I feel motivated." That's why they lose. Motivation is temporary, it fades. Discipline is permanent. Discipline doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care if you're tired, sad, or distracted. It doesn't ask for permission. It commands you to act. The truth is, motivation gets you started, but discipline keeps you going when everything inside you screams to quit. It's the silent force behind every great man, every empire, every legacy. Without it, you're just a talker, not a doer. You can have all the dreams in the world, but without discipline, they're fantasies. You can read 1,000 motivational quotes, watch all the videos, hype yourself up every morning. But if you can't control your own actions, you're a slave to weakness. Discipline is the weapon of the focused mind. It's the shield that protects you from distraction, the sword that cuts through excuses, and the armor that keeps you standing when life throws punches. You see, discipline doesn't give results immediately, and that's why most people quit. We live in a generation that wants everything fast, fast money, fast fame, fast success. But discipline is slow, it's consistent, it's boring, and that's why it works. Because while the undisciplined chase quick pleasure, the disciplined build unstoppable momentum. Every rep, every routine, every sacrifice adds up until one day they look back and realize they became the person they were chasing. Discipline is freedom disguised as effort. When you're disciplined, you're no longer controlled by your emotions, addictions, or desires. You become unstoppable. You decide when to rest, when to push, when to rise, and because of that, you move through life with power. You stop being reactive and start being intentional. Most people think freedom means doing whatever you want. It's not. True freedom is having the strength to say no to what weakens you and yes to what builds you. So ask yourself, are you in control, or are your habits in control of you? Because if you can't say no to temptation, if you can't force yourself to do what needs to be done, then you're not free. You're a prisoner. Discipline is the only key that unlocks real freedom. It's the weapon of kings, the mindset of warriors, the foundation of every legend. You don't need motivation. You need consistency. You need structure. You need the kind of discipline that burns weakness out of your soul. That's how you rise. That's how you win. Your goal isn't just a dream, it's your identity. It's who you are, who you're becoming, and who you're willing to fight for. Without a goal, you're just drifting through life with no direction, no power, and no meaning. But when you have a goal, a real one, it becomes part of your DNA. It changes how you walk, how you talk, how you think. It gives you purpose when the world tries to break you. Your goal becomes the fire that burns in your chest when everyone else gives up. It's not something you do, it's something you live for. Most people fail because they separate their goals from their identity. They say, I'll try to lose weight, or I'll try to start a business, or I'll try to be successful. You can't try to become who you're meant to be. You either are or you're not. You have to fuse your goal with your identity until they're one and the same. You don't try to be disciplined. You are disciplined. You don't try to chase your dream. You live and breathe it. When your goal becomes your identity, quitting stops being an option. Think about it. When something is part of your identity, you defend it with your life. If someone insults your name, your family, your pride, you react. Because it's yours, that's how you should treat your goal. Protect it, nurture it, feed it with your effort and your pain. Let it consume you until there's no version of you that exists without it. Because when your goal defines you, it becomes your reason to rise every time you fall. Most people change their goals because they don't have a strong why. They chase trends, copy others, or do what looks easy. That's not a goal, that's confusion. Your goal should come from deep inside, from something real. It should scare you. It should challenge you. It should feel impossible. Because only when it feels impossible does it force you to evolve. Your goal should demand a better version of you every single day. And here's the truth. When your goal becomes your identity, you stop chasing results and start chasing growth. You stop saying, I want to win, and start saying, I'm the kind of person who wins. You stop saying, I hope I make it, and start saying, I'm built for this. That shift changes everything. It makes you unstoppable because you're no longer relying on motivation. You're relying on who you are. You can lose money, friends, or opportunities, but if you don't lose your goal, you'll rebuild everything stronger. The man who knows his goal knows his path, and the man who knows his path doesn't get lost, no matter how dark it gets. Your goal gives you identity, and your identity gives you power. That's why it's not just about dreaming big, it's about becoming the person who can live that dream. When you align who you are with what you want, that's when the world starts to bend in your favor. That's when destiny stops being a fantasy and becomes your reality. So now, my friend, it's time to face the truth. You've heard every excuse, felt every doubt, and wasted enough time waiting for the right moment. But let me tell you something, the right moment doesn't exist. Life isn't waiting for you. Time isn't waiting for you. Every second you spend thinking instead of doing is another second stolen from your future. You have to stop existing and start living with intention. Because if you don't have a goal, you'll spend your entire life working for someone who does. Your life is the sum of your decisions. Every choice you make is either building your future or burying it. You can keep pretending you're fine drifting through life, but deep down you know you're not. You were not born to be ordinary. You were not born to blend in. You were born to fight, to grow, to lead, to build something greater than yourself. And the only way to do that is to set a goal so big it scares you, and then chase it until your lungs burn. You'll be laughed at, doubted, criticized, and tested. But that's good, because every obstacle, every sleepless night, every ounce of pain will shape you into something powerful. That's what this life is about. It's not about being comfortable, it's about becoming unstoppable. The man who has a goal has direction. The man with direction has power, and the man with power can't be broken. So stop waiting, stop overthinking, stop hiding behind fear. Write down your goal, commit to it, and bleed for it if you have to. Because one day, when you're standing on top of the mountain you built with your own hands, you'll realize it was all worth it. The pain, the struggle, the sacrifice. It was all the price of becoming who you were meant to be. And that, my friend, is the ultimate goal.